Hi everybody, welcome back. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a small business person, a designer, or any kind of creative professional, your brand is the most important thing to you. And there's a whole lot of things that can hurt your brand that you have to be careful of. So I'm going to jump right into talking about 5 things that I think are some of the most important that could hurt your brand if you're not careful. So number 1, I'm always talking about consistency. So one of the biggest things that can hurt your brand is an inconsistent brand image. When I talk about inconsistency, I mean design elements, things like color and fonts, your logo, your photography treatment, your layout style. Having all of these things be completely consistent across all your brand touch points, so social media, your website, wherever, podcast artwork, wherever people come in touch with your brand, you want your brand image to be as consistent as possible. What happens is people have a tendency to develop just a website, and then they'll add a social media channel, and they'll add something else a little later, and they may change or update or add little nuances to their brand as they go along, and what happens over time is they end up with a brand that's very disparate and doesn't look like it comes from the same place. So you want to be consistent across all your channels, across Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and Pinterest and your website, wherever it is that you show up, because you want to be building brand equity over time. And if you don't build that equity and you look different across all of those channels, people aren't going to be able to recognize you. And ultimately what's really happening is you are leaving money on the table because you're going to be sacrificing equity and sacrificing customers who will, if you're consistent, become over time much more loyal to you. Number 2 is poor website design. I know this sounds really simple, but there are a lot of really bad websites out there, and everyone can always use a second look at their website to make sure that they're coming across as professionally and that their site is as up to date as possible. So let's look at some of the facts. There was a survey done with customers of small businesses and creative professionals. And some of the results were really interesting. 35% of people surveyed said that they would decide not to buy from someone if their site was of poor quality. So that could be poor design, could be poor navigation, could be poor content, poor descriptions of what it is that you do. 45% said that a bad website is worse than no website at all, which is pretty astounding. 30% said that they think small business lacks some key features across almost all websites. So that's an easy contact form or easy scheduling or really consistent or visible pricing structure or social links to your other channels or quality content that means something to them. 29% of people said that when they go to these types of sites, they frequently find errors, so things like typos or broken links. So making sure that your site is free of errors, free of 404 errors or broken links to pages or broken links within your blog posts is a really important thing to do. The third thing that can hurt your brand is low quality content, and worse than that is no content at all. So if you're blogging or publishing articles or publishing resources or links to other people, just make sure that there's the highest quality that you can get and that you are posting regularly and updating regularly. Because low quality content leaves you at risk of Google downgrading you in search, and you'll end up on the 3rd, 4th, 5th page of Google results, which is like basically being invisible. So updating frequently on your website, updating your blog, posting new articles, posting new images, Google recognizes this. Google sees everything, and they will elevate you in search results. So you need to post frequently. You need to make sure that your articles and content are relevant to your consumer, and that if you do video or you do audio, a podcast or YouTube channel, that your production value is as good as possible. So sound quality, video quality, lighting quality, etc. Number 4 is a really important one, and I see this a lot in small businesses and entrepreneurs and creative professionals. They have a tendency when you go to their website to talk about themselves only. What you really need to do is focus the copy on your website to be consumer-centric. And what they mean by that is you have to be really clear about what it is, articulating what it is, the problem of the customer, your consumer, that you're going to fix. And you have to do it in a voice that's speaking to them. So asking them a question, are you looking for a new logo and you don't know where to start? Are you looking for a video production company but you have no contacts or resources? Are the prices you're paying for website design too high? Is your SEO failing and you don't know exactly how to address it? Those kind of questions when you go to a website will pique somebody's interest, because if they have that problem, they're immediately going to want to read more. If you go to a website and it just says, I do fantastic website design, that's not going to really create that connection with your customer that speaking in a customer-centric voice can do. Go to where your customers hang out and listen to what they're asking about. Listen to what their pain points are and try to drive your content and your story and your copy on your website to speak in a consumer-centric voice to draw them to you and draw them to your services. It's called mirroring. What you want to do is you want to mirror how that customer is talking to themselves. And you want to post in that voice so your customer can identify with it. So they can see that you understand their problem and you are the one to fix it. The fifth thing that can hurt your brand is trying to be everything to everybody. So that's being too broad in your offering, too broad in who your customer avatar is. You want to be as specific as possible. The days of the generalist, the general store are over. There's this saying, the riches are in the niches. And what that means is you can have a great business and you can make a lot of money and be successful the more you focus down to a specific target. And because the internet has made the business community global, and there are so many opportunities and so many places to get the services that you need, finding the most specific service provider for you to solve your problem is the most important thing to you. So the more specific you can be about who your customer is and what it is that you're going to do for them and what the problem is that you're solving, is really going to make you successful. If you're trying to address too many different customers, too many different needs, people don't know what you do. They don't know how you're going to help them, or they're confused. They'll go to somebody else who feels that they understand their problem better. So I hope you enjoyed this video on 5 things that can hurt your brand. And if you did, please hit subscribe below so you can see my videos when they come out. And visit me at philipvandusen.com/muse, M-U-S-E, and subscribe to my newsletter. It comes out every 2 weeks, and I share insights and resources and inspiration on graphic design and entrepreneurship. And with that, thanks again for watching. Bye for now.